This is a little sneak preview. People are going to lose their minds at this one. I almost did Metallica Mondays on the Gram the other day.
Oh.
Yeah, I forget what day it was that I was going to do it. Anyway, you get it?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I was going to
good joke.
Do it on the 21st.
Really nailed that one.
On the 21st.
There you go.
Brunch! Hit it, boys! Well, it's over.
What's over?
Daft Punk has broken up after 28 years.
I'll be honest with you. I wasn't totally sure if Daft Punk was still the quote unquote active.
Did you know how many members of Daft Punk there were?
I sure did.
Okay, so
I think 2.
4. Oh,
ooh,
no, there's 4. Really?
yeah.
No, they have 2 singers. They're like ABBA. That's like Agneta and Frida.
Okay.
There's a Benny and Bjorn there as well.
I don't believe it. I think you're pulling my chain here.
You serious?
Yeah.
Those are 2 guys that sing.
Yeah. Okay.
They are.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is like the legend of the Phoenix, and then one of them is the
Fuck you.
And then
that's Pharrell.
Pharrell.
Yeah.
Did he
You're
produce
the
that
worst.
song?
You're the worst. Shut up. You're not getting me on this bit. Move on.
Doesn't sound like me.
Right.
Let's see. Get Lucky, Daft Punk. It is by Daft Punk, so 1 point for me.
There you go. Congratulations.
Genre, disco. You think it's listed as having 2 genres?
Yeah, that's where I mixed up. You're right.
It has 1, 2, 3, 4. It has 4 songwriters, so this is looking... Do you want to back out at this?
No, I'm good. I just looked it up. It is a duo, but one of the guys has like 4 names, so...
That's right. Oh, yeah.
You could spin that. Now's your chance to say, ooh, I messed up. This guy just has a really long name. I thought it was 3 people.
That's pretty much how I get into arguments. I'll be locked in on a take or something, and somebody else will be locked in, and like we're both...
You just both find ways to... We're both kind of right.
Right. You just get so into a corner and like you move away from any sort of rational conversation. And then by the end of it, you're like...
You're both just really exhausted.
Yeah. Oh, you were talking about this. Oh, okay. I see your point. I got in a long, lengthy text argument with one of my coworkers after the second period of the sports fans, after the second period of Bruins Flyers the other day. I said in a group text, okay, gang, time to play. How many of those Bruins goals could we have scored? I said, I'm going with definitely Frederick's goal and Pasternak's second goal. And then one of my coworkers was like, Pasternak's second goal was a bullet. I was like, it wasn't a bullet. What are you talking about? It was like, look how much it waffled. And then he was like, yeah, but it was still a really nice play that he made. And I was like, it was a nice play. It wasn't a nice goal. And then we just got it was like a 10
it was a nice goal, but it was extremely lucky.
Yeah.
It was very lucky. Like, it just was, he just turned around, whipped it right in the general area, hit the crossbar, bar down.
Right, so...
Very lucky.
He was making a lot of correct points that were like, you got to hit a certain spot for that to go in. And I'm like, sure. But you're typically playing against a goalie, and the goalie should be able to stop that. Anyway... We got into this like super long thing, and by the end of it, I think we were both so pumped to find something that the other said that was correct, so we could say, "Oh, I agree. This is the part that I agree with. We both agree. Now let's talk about anything else." And I was like, "No." Anyway,
2 members of Daft Punk confirmed.
Label was Daft Life and Columbia. Nile Rodgers got a songwriting credit on Get Lucky.
Who?
Nile Rodgers, he's the guitarist. He is known for plugging not into an amp, but he just plugs his guitar directly into the board. So, like, if we're recording this podcast right now, the thing that we're recording, he would just plug his guitar right in there.
That's a wild move.
You're not getting any reverb. You're not getting much EQ. You're just getting straight electronics.
Raw dog.
It's a very, very clean sound. He was a member of Chic. I couldn't think of the name of the band. Anyway, Daft Punk consists of 4 members.
Fuck you.
Kanye West, the 2 guys from
Yes,
Daft Punk.
every person that Daft Punk has ever collaborated with is a member of Daft Punk.
I did listen to Get Lucky today, and speaking of Pharrell, that's an impressive song because that first verse is just like very who cares mailed in. And for the group's an electronic group, right? Daft Punk, like electronic, like
Duo.
production based band.
Yep.
Collective. They're like Odd Future.
Yeah.
Tons of people
Wu-Tang.
coming in and out. That's right. Yeah, listen to the first verse of Get Lucky. You're going to be like, wow. They were like, let's print this one. They weren't like, hey, let's do another pass of it. I honestly think that, and this is credit to that song, they were like, this song is going to have a very, very, very catchy chorus. Who cares about anything else? And I think they devoted all their time to making a wonderful sounding chorus, and that was it. But Daft Punk, for as much as I clearly know about them, I've never, like, I would go to a Daft Punk concert. I'd be very excited, especially now it's a reunion show.
That's true.
I just I never got excited about Daft Punk.
I mean, like, I got excited about it because I know that they have hits. And I know that, like, they don't do a whole lot of stuff. So when they do, it's an event.
Yeah.
Like, they were around for what? Like, over 20-something years? And they only had 4 studio albums.
That's right. So, I'm trying to find...
Maybe that's what you're thinking of. There's not 4 members, but they have 4 albums.
Yes. Random Access Memories was... Did that win Album of the Year? I think it may have. Yeah, it won Album of the Year. What year was that? 2014. I remember Random Access Memories, which was the song that had Get Lucky winning Album of the Year, and I was so annoyed. Let's see what the other...
The other song that I remember from that is Lose Yourself to Dance. And that song is just, like, super repetitive.
Yeah. I mean, I like Get Lucky, great song. Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger Than Yesterday, great song. One More Time.
Classic.
So my dopey ass friends are on a big Sandstorm kick.
Yeah.
And
That's like a meme.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Like Sandstorm is in right now?
Yeah, people are like, Sandstorm.
Oh, really?
To meme it, yeah.
Oh, God. Well, then I'm missing the joke or something. But anyway, I hate it. Every playlist I do or something, they're like, you're not going to put Sandstorm? Like, give the people what they want. And I'm like...
Yeah, they're memeing you.
Okay, well, whatever. When Daft Punk retired, I threw it out to the group. I was like...
It's a good opportunity
One
to
more
put
time.
Sandstorm. No, you
one
should
more
have been
time,
like,
better than Sandstorm? And
no,
they were
you
like,
should have been
no.
like, you're going to be like, in honor of Daft Punk, putting on their greatest hit, Sandstorm, onto the playlist this week.
Okay, 2014 Album of the Year. Nominees. Random Access Memories. The Blessed Unrest by Sarah Bareilles.
Oh, I can only imagine where you're going.
Good Kid, Mad City, Kendrick Lamar.
So that's why you're mad.
Red, Taylor Swift. The Heist, Macklemore and Ryan Lewis.
Thank God.
So, in the spirit of honesty...
Let's throw one right in the trash immediately.
And growth...
Red by Taylor Swift in the trash.
I thought The Heist by Macklemore and Ryan Lewis should have won.
No way.
Yes. I disagree with that in hindsight. And people were, I mean, and at the time, this wasn't like I got caught up in the Macklemore mania, which was definitely a thing.
Yeah, definitely. And I liked The Heist.
No, people were, when I was like, I would give this award to The Heist. I think that Good Kid, Mad City is a better album. Like, I thought that Good Kid, Mad City was the best album, but I thought the Heist just was this...
It was very accessible, like very enjoyable.
Massive, huge thing. And also, I know that he ended up getting blowback for it, but Same Love was like a very positive moment for America, that hip-hop, which obviously, like anything else, unfortunately, has a long history of homophobia. That there was like this gay hip hop anthem Anyway, maybe I was, and now that I say maybe I was a little caught up in the Macklemore.
It sounds like you were.
Mania. But the name of this episode, Macklemore Mania.
Macklemore was robbed of the 2012.
Right. Kendrick, did Kendrick send a text apology to Mac? You know about that, right?
That Macklemore apologized to Kendrick.
Macklemore won Best Rap Album that year.
Yeah.
That's where I was like, I had weird takes that year. I remember I was like, Kendrick should win Best Rap Album. Macklemore should win.
I mean, I think that's like, I mean, it's easy to say now, like in retrospect. I think that's kind of a fair take where it's like, Kendrick is like rooted in hip hop and Macklemore is a bit more accessible and like kind of poppy.
Exactly. Like Kendrick made a better album, but I don't know. I also, my feel for the Grammys back when I really cared about it was different every year. Like there would be certain years where I was like, no, this is the best album. This is a work of art. This has to win. For example, To Pimp a Butterfly. Mm-hmm. I think that there are, a lot of the voters, the Academy or whatever, may not have been huge Kendrick Lamar fans. They're probably thinking more 1989. And I disagreed with that, but I was like, no, To Pimp a Butterfly is just so much better than everything else. It should win. Other years, like this year, or like that year, 2014, I was like, this was the Macklemore year. Like, how does Macklemore not win Album of the Year? Even over Sarah Bareilles, who put out an album that very, very strongly inspired 1989. I will go to my grave thinking that. Anyway, that was a really strong year for Album of the Year candidates. Blessed Unrest, Good Kid, Mad City, Red, The Heist. Like, Red very easily could have won. I thought that Red was going to win.
I'm not a big Red guy. I don't know if you know this.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
That's nuts. I think that I, for a long time, said my favorite Taylor Swift album was Red because I liked that it was the big sort of crossover into, okay, I'm a Max Martin person now. Like, this is what my songs are. They're gonna be better songs, basically. And I was really excited about that. And now, honestly, I think my favorite Taylor Swift album, you know,
Folklore.
Of course, A+ album. Nah, you know what my favorite Taylor Swift album is?
Evermore.
Yes, tied. You know what my favorite Taylor Swift album is?
1989.
No.
Fearless.
No.
Speak Now.
It would be great if, like, around the time of 1989, Reputation, I'm like, yeah, my favorite Taylor Swift album is Red. Then more albums come out, and I'm like, new favorite, Fearless.
Yeah.
Speak Now.
I mean, I think you could say like Fearless now because like the recent stuff would inspire you to go back and listen to Fearless and be like, I think this is my favorite Taylor Swift album.
Hey, let me hear round one of this stuff.
Yeah.
Which, God, my eyes rolled clean.
Are you going to
off.
say Dedicated? I mean, not Dedicated. Reputation?
Yes.
You think that's your favorite Taylor Swift album?
Yeah. It might not be the best. There's a good chance it's not the best, but
that's fair.
Really appreciated.
I think you might be skewed a little. Yeah, that's fair. And I think you might be skewed a little bit because of the Reputation tour.
Reputation tour
was the party of a lifetime. I experienced it 3 times.
I was going to say, think of the regrets in your life and how high is not going to Reputation tour more times.
I went 3 times.
I went twice. But imagine if we thought more about it.
Right. And just
if we had the foresight.
Reputation groupies.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
But
Road Dogs.
Reputation tour in Atlanta was just so great because it was in brand new stadium. Mm-hmm. And I don't know about you, that's definitely the most I have spent on concert tickets. Because we did field. We did like very close field.
Yeah. Well, I don't remember what it came to, but
we bought them on like a tax-free day. So, and maybe Ticketmaster was doing like a waiving ticket fees or something. We basically did the thing where we just talk ourselves into it makes financial sense to buy these tickets cheap. Now. Flights were cheap. The tickets were probably so stupid, like $350
Jesus.
each.
Worth it.
Like, couldn't swing it, but that was a YOLO, very, very fun time. And I don't know, like, would you do field, super close up, super expensive concert tickets again?
Yes.
I think I would too. I did them for Fleetwood Mac.
It would have to be the right show. Like a show like that
Right.
where it's like, it's a spectacle.
Yeah.
I would pay to be up close.
And when you do that, you've got to do it, at least in my brain, rationalize it as like legitimately a vacation.
Yep.
And
Yeah, like honestly, like I think
$350 for a vacation. There's no beating that.
I think we did it right, where it's like, let's make a fucking weekend out of it. Let's make it a party. Let's go somewhere new, rather than like spending $350 to go to fucking Gillette Stadium.
Oh yeah, that's such a good call, right? Because if you're paying $150, let's say, for tickets at Gillette or whatever your home venue may be, to get there, if you don't live super close, I mean, someone's paying for parking, you're throwing in all this stuff, and you're tailgating, which tailgating, I don't know if you prepare for a tailgate, that can be kind of expensive.
It can be.
Mercedes-Benz Stadium, famously,
Cheap concessions.
very, very cheap concessions, so much so that Randy, as a heads up to us, was like, hey, because we were like, hey, let's do one more beer at this bar and then go in there. And he was like, well, if you want to save money, we can just go to the venue first, which that makes no sense hearing that coming from where we live. And that was, I mean, then we were doing like $5 beers all night. I bet it was cheaper to the overall experience.
Probably. And like with that, we got to catch the full opening acts because we were there early to save money drinking, and I enjoyed the opening acts a lot. Charlie XCX, and Camila Cabello.
Yes, that was great. Although
I took a gigantic exception to Camila Cabello wearing a custom Falcons jersey because
I remember the same thing.
She wore a custom Patriots jersey, and then later she wore a custom Vikings jersey.
That's right.
It's very shameless. I don't like it. Pandering.
That's right. I remember. I was like, where was your third?
Minnesota.
Yeah, I remember you were in Minnesota for a weekend, and you were like, Taylor's in town. I think I can swing it.
Yep. It did. It was great.
That's awesome. So Daft Punk consists of, as we all know, Ryan Lewis, Macklemore, Taylor Swift, and Kendrick Lamar. Although heavily inspired by Sarah Bareilles. Yeah, like I didn't fully get your temperature on Daft Punk. You seem like the same as me.
Yeah. Like I like them. I enjoy some of their work, but like when it was announced that they broke up, it was more of like a than a no.
Yeah, like it just means we don't get one big huge hit every
decade.
like 5 years or something like that. Yeah, probably even more than that. So I dabbled into prompt Twitter kind of intentionally. I said like Daft Punk is my ultimate I don't love this as much as everyone else, but I'm extremely happy for everyone band. Who is that artist for you? Answer, and you might get a retweet. That's what we should start doing. We should start doing prompt Twitter, but then like explain prompt Twitter after. Like the goal here, quote tweet this, send it around. You know what? Why do people quote? Have you noticed this on prompt Twitter? People will quote tweet the prompt with their answer and then put the prompt below.
Yeah.
And then someone will quote tweet that, and it's a Russian doll.
Yeah, so that you don't have to keep clicking through each quote tweet to get to the original prompt.
But that probably leads a lot of people to keep clicking through to see how deep the rap, to see if it goes all the way to the top.
Perhaps.
Try to trace this thing. Yeah.
Just follow the lead.
Yeah. Who are your Daft Punks?
I've got a few of them. The first one that came to mind was Grateful Dead. Like Grateful Dead, people fucking love them, and people get so excited for them. I'm happy for them. and I know that I might like Grateful Dead because John Mayer loves Grateful Dead. I can't do it. I don't understand.
So I can guarantee you one thing. The next time Dead & Co. are in town, not only are you going, you're going with me.
Hell yeah.
We're both going to that because my parents got me, they got me Sirius XM for Christmas one year because they always have the Beatles channel on in their car, and it's great. And I must have commented on it a couple times, like, wow, this is the stuff they pull out on this is awesome. Like, it's for the average Beatles fan will be into it, but like the real crazy, like I want to know everything person is also getting their fix. So I was like, this is probably the best radio station I've ever heard.
It's a terrible gift, by the way. Sirius XM subscription.
So that does sound like just kind of like a shitty gift.
No, it sounds like a nice thing, but like, are your parents still paying for it? Because like, if you love that, you got to take over the subscription.
So that was after 1 year. They were like, okay, it's time to have the talk. Do you like your Sirius XM subscription? I was like, yes. And they're like, you're listening.
Do you want us to get it?
Yeah.
I get it for you again?
Yeah. So I was like, absolutely. Sure. Okay. Do it.
I mean, I guess it's a great gift if you're giving it, because then if the person likes it, then you're locked into that gift and you just get to keep re-gifting it over and over again.
Yeah. When I signed up for Robinhood, they gave me one complimentary stonk of Sirius XM.
And then did they sell it for you?
No, I still don't get it. I just don't get Robinhood at all.
I don't get stonks.
The only thing I know is that I did buy a little bit of Dogecoin.
Oh no!
On the first day though, so it went way up and then it's dropped and then it went up, and when it started, like, I'm still up a little.
Are you holding?
I'm holding, yeah.
Okay, good for you.
But Shane, also Dogecoin guy.
Dogecoin holder?
Yes, Dogecoin. And he posted something on Instagram joking about, like, hey, should I buy this with my Dogecoin cash out? I was like, if this is serious, we're done. Gotta hold for dear life. But, yeah, the only guy, I just can't be bothered with that unless we continue to do Robinhood ads and everything, in which case, like, people who want to do it, for sure.
Happy to facilitate.
Right. And we'll be the middleman. And if you want to explain to us, maybe the copy can fill in the blanks
there
that
you go.
Still have.
We'll get back to the Grateful Dead. How so?
Oh, so I don't listen to the Beatles channel at all. I saw the first day I used it that there was a Grateful Dead channel, and I was like, I'm gonna use this gift to become a Deadhead. That'd be the funniest.
Did it work?
Development. I don't listen to it a ton. If I had it on constantly, I'd be all the way in. But I'm at least now surface level Dead understander. Like, I listen to
again. Like, I think that I could do it. I think I could be that guy. I don't get it.
I think one day maybe.
I think you have to have like an experience.
Right. I was gonna say blaze up a pot and put on Europe 72, and there's no way you'll listen to it and be like, I don't like this. You might be like,
still don't really get it.
This is fine for me, but there are some. I could make you a short playlist that you're like,
it would help.
These songs are definitely good. You know, Touch of Grey, which is like one of their later songs. You know that one. I will get by.
Sure.
All right. Quick little break. I'm just gonna quickly play this for Pete, and he's gonna know what I'm talking about.
DMCA free. Yeah, I don't know the Grateful Dead.
Wow, does not know fucking Touch of Grey. Do you? But you've.
I didn't dislike it. I could get there. It's just it's not something that I know right now, I guess.
Do you know what else Touch of Grey is?
Just for Men?
Yes. Named after, I believe. Time Crisis did a long thing, I think, on. I forget what their verdict was, but they were trying to find out like what came first, Grateful Dead, Touch of Grey, or Just for Men, Touch of Grey, and if the Dead song came first, like was Just for Men trying to target Deadheads. But anyway, yeah, I'm definitely not a Deadhead, but I like when I listen to them, and I like their vibe, and I definitely would want to go to, I know it's not really the Grateful Dead, but I would definitely go to a Dead & Co. show, because, I mean, John Mayer's there. At the very least, you're going to enjoy that. Felger's a Deadhead, and he goes to those shows, and I remember him saying that, like, yeah, John Mayer's, like, after seeing that, yeah, John, I'll
seal
give, like,
seal of Felger approval. Wouldn't trade him for Sidney Crosby.
No, I think, what was Felger?
Yeah, it was Maz.
I don't know, I don't know if Felger was trade Pasternak for
no, he wasn't.
Sidney Crosby. But anyway, yeah, Grateful Dead is a good Daft Punk to have. I mean, mine's Daft Punk.
Yeah, that's all you got?
Yeah, no.
I have a few other ones.
I fielded some ones on Twitter. Got Taylor Swift, which I think Taylor Swift and Beyonce might be in different categories, because Taylor Swift and Beyonce, part of it is how daunting the fan base is, and just how crazy all of the hoopla is with that. Like, you could say that about like One Direction.
Well, on my list, BTS.
Okay, right.
On my list, like, happy that people fucking love them, but like I don't get like the fervor.
Right, and I think that's kind of unfair, because I've been that way with Bruce Springsteen, where I just consider myself not really a Bruce Springsteen fan, because I know
you're not
what a
the
Bruce
biggest Springsteen
right,
fan.
I know what a Bruce Springsteen fan is. I see how they live their life,
that's fair.
Talking only about Bruce Springsteen, and I think Swifties are like that. Beyonce fans are like that. So you can
like,
say,
you don't want to feel like somebody's gonna test you if you say that you're a Bruce Springsteen fan,
right? And I think that's unfair. Like, I think that everybody should be a Taylor Swift fan. Everybody should be a Beyonce fan. I don't know. I spend too much time wondering, like, but everyone appreciates Beyonce, right? Like, you can say, oh yeah, she's not my favorite. Oh, I don't really like all of her songs.
I don't think that everybody appreciates Beyonce.
I'm like, but you get that she's like one of a kind, right? And then someone's like, oh no, I disagree. I'm like, oh,
Adele's a better singer.
Oh my god, nothing will make me angrier. Billie Eilish was an answer.
Yeah. I would put myself in that category. Like, Ellen fucking loves Billie Eilish.
Ooh.
And she like tries. She's like, how don't you love Billie Eilish? And I'm like,
it took me a while with Billie Eilish, but I mean, I got to talk to Ellen, because I've been bumping the new Billie Eilish song like crazy. Do you know Therefore I Am? Mm-mm. Came out like, I don't know, like 2 years ago or something.
Okay, so the new one. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a within the last week guy with that song, and
I like Ocean Eyes.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Bad Guy's good.
Yeah, I was gonna say she and Phineas don't get enough credit, but I think
they do.
I think Phineas won like Producer of the Year, and she won like Album of the Year or something. Like, they definitely get enough credit, but I'm very charmed by them. They make simple songs that obviously sound very unique. They're very big into low energy. Mm-hmm. Like, they intentionally, I think that Phineas probably cuts her off if she like really starts to sing a song and is like, hey, no,
scale it back a little bit.
Yeah.
This isn't our brand.
You're gonna barely talk it, but you're gonna do it in tune, and then you're gonna talk in harmony with that. I don't know. I'm very impressed by Billie Eilish and Phineas. LCD Sound System was a common answer, and honestly, I have to agree with that, because I'm not the biggest LCD Sound System fan, but I like them, and when we saw them, we had a lot of fun.
I'll tell you, the closest I've ever come to being on hard drugs is experiencing LCD Sound System
sober.
Live. While I wasn't sober,
With, like,
but I was
one
like,
beer.
I had a few beers.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, the party going on inside my body when I was hearing all my friends.
Yes.
God.
That was
one of the best concert experiences I've ever had.
Big agree there. My Morning Jacket or Wilco, somebody said. That's another one. I think
I briefly got into Wilco and I got it.
Yeah, I like Wilco and I get it, but I also don't listen to all their albums and everything. So I think Wilco fans could be like,
Wilco fans are like Wilco fans,
right?
And they study Wilco,
right?
So.
And it's not like the Springsteen thing or the Taylor Swift thing where they're like, "This is your life," right? They're just like, "Look, man,
he's the greatest people on earth."
Yeah, that's all. Just wear jean jackets. Dave Matthews Band, said somebody. Super fun concerts to go to, but I'd never just put on DMB to listen to around the house. Gotta disagree with him because I loaded up DMB on a playlist recently. I'm not a Dave Matthews Band fan, but I put a lot of crazy.
Yeah, I'm not like one of those party bus Dave Matthews Band
Never
fans. I'm pretty sure Dave Matthews Band fans keep the party bus business in business.
Totally. Have you ever? Yeah, you've never been to a DMB show?
No, I have not.
Never been.
Literally everybody in my high school had been though. Metallica's one for me.
Interesting. I almost did. This is a little sneak preview. People are going to lose their minds at this one. I almost did Metallica Mondays on the Gram the other day.
Oh,
yeah. I forget what day it was that I was going to do it. Anyway, you get it?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I was going to
good joke.
Do it on the 21st.
Really nailed that one.
On the 21st.
There you go.
Yeah, I was going to do. I think I still might, but I was going to do a Metallica song. Anyway,
I've tried.
I mean, you
it's
also
not my style, I guess.
When they were at Austin City Limits, I was like trying to get you away from that because they're just old and sloppy and like they are really bad now. And as you wanted
to protect me.
I am a longtime Metallica fan. I was like, I don't want to see this. I want to act like this is not happening, and I certainly don't want you all impressionable and
let's see what this is all about.
Happy-go-lucky, yeah. Like, let's Metallica. They're a popular band. I'd love to check them out, and then be like, well, that was me checking out Metallica. They sounded like Puddle of Mud, legitimately.
Well, they do musical gigs for the NHL now, so I realize that they're not as big as they once were.
They were. I mean, they still can sell out anything though. Like because every year there was. I think that the musical Wayne Gretzky would be the all-time NHL points leader if he never scored a goal. Mm-hmm. I forget however many years like the Black Album went plat. Just I don't know if it does anymore because I don't know if anything goes platinum anymore. But for as long as people were buying music, the Black Album from 1991 would just go at least one time platinum every year because every year there was some kid in middle school who was told about Metallica or heard Enter Sandman, and they were like, "All right, I'm gonna go get the Black Album." Like they are always getting new fans, kids who hear Metallica and are like, "Holy shit, I need all this." And I was like that, and I feel like it probably still happens. The unfortunate part is though, then they get caught up to speed with what they are now, and they're just terrible. I got caught up to speed where I only had to hear like one really bad album, and I was like, so I heard all the good stuff. Bye-bye. Metallica's a good answer though for that, but they were a great band. Someone said Post Malone. I honestly think I agree with all these because like I think Post Malone's fine, but I don't go crazy for him.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I like Post Malone. I think Post Malone's like talented, but like I've listened to Post Malone albums and been like, I could do without most of this.
You want to see the ballsiest answer it got?
Oh God,
I cannot. And I responded, unreal bravery to say this on Twitter.
Go on.
Someone said Phoebe Bridgers.
Okay. Yeah.
I was like, wow, some kids are gonna kill you.
Possibly Phoebe Bridgers.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Or
a
26-year-old
I think that's
person.
a good answer though, because like there are a lot, like her type of music.
Yeah.
Just probably doesn't appeal to some people.
Yeah, it doesn't do it for everybody.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, like I think that Phoebe Bridgers, like I'm definitely a Phoebe Bridgers fan, and she sings a couple of my favorite songs of the last however many years, but I don't think like her first album I didn't love as much as everybody else. Like I don't listen through a Phoebe Bridgers album other than the most recent one. She only has 2, I guess. But I don't listen through what everybody was saying, like, oh, this is fucking great, and be like, I love all these songs. A lot of it is like, this is good, but I can take or leave some of it.
Man, I don't know how it took us this long to mention it, but like The National.
The National is
like the standard answer for the both of us.
Yeah, but also I can't tell if I'm happy for everyone. Right? Like it's the combination of, look, I don't get this as much as you, but I'm really happy for you.
Yeah, but
I'm a little
I
don't believe you.
I would not throw them in like in the Queen's Gambit category where like their fans are annoying and I hate them.
Yeah.
They are pretty polite. Where they're like,
That's
you
true.
should check it out. You should really give them a chance.
They are a bit politely religious about it.
Yes.
Like, hey, I'd love for you to just check it out. And if
it's like I really want you to be on this ride with me.
Yeah.
My boss is like that. I just had an arrangement with my boss like last week where he was like, please check out The National. I was like, you check out Carly Rae Jepsen, because he'd never heard anything after Call Me Maybe. Nice. So I was like, check out Carly Rae Jepsen. I will check out The National. He listened to Carly Rae Jepsen. He was like, all right, I kind of hate how hooked I am on like emotion. And he was like, you listen to The National? I was like, nope.
So
I have to do it. I have to do it at some point.
We've never spoken like this, but this is the first time where I think, like, I'm willing to say this. So he's never listened to Carly Rae Jepsen other than Call Me Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I think he has to have his man card revoked. Because if there's one thing we know about dudes,
they love Carly Rae Jepsen.
They all listen to Carly Rae Jepsen.
And he falls in like the age range too, like mid-20s to like mid-30s.
Oh, really?
All those dudes in that demographic are listening to Carly Rae Jepsen, and that's all they want to talk about.
Every now and then, someone will tell a story of like...
You know that meme? Like, guys only want one thing, and it's fucking disgusting.
Oh, yeah.
It's Carly Rae Jepsen.
It's
emotion.
Jepsen. Every now and then, a friend will bring up, like, yeah, like I had to drag my girlfriend or whatever, wife, whatever, to a Carly Rae Jepsen concert. And I just like, a lot of people did, I bet. Just dudes. They want one thing.
One of my favorite stories is when I went to that Carly Rae Jepsen show at the House of Blues like a year or two ago. I drove in with Ellen because Ellen was also going to an event in that area, and she was going to the Boston Red Sox game.
This was an event she wanted to attend, though.
She was going to the Boston Red Sox game that night, and I was across the street at the Carly Rae Jepsen show.
Take that, gender norms.
There we go.
Although, honestly, like, for as long as Carly Rae Jepsen has existed, I don't know if like there is a gender norm thing in play there, because I don't know if
there is,
proof
because it's
of
guys
anything other than dudes.
If you had been at that show, you would have noticed 99% dudes weren't even selling women's merch. It's incredible.
That's nuts to me. I'm trying to think if I've ever been to a show where they didn't sell. Well, I guess like they sell a lot of unisex stuff.
I mean, like I guess like you could. Guys' t-shirts are basically unisex.
I remember one of the first Sarah Bareilles shows I went to. They did not have men's shirts, and I wasn't like stomping my feet or anything, but I was like knocking shit over. I was like, I mean, you were going to make so much money, but you know, so those are. I'm trying to think. Yeah, The National is probably the ultimate one. Okay, so rest in peace, Daft Punk.
All four of you.
All four of them. We did a movie.
We did do a movie. We should little show notice here.
Oh yeah.
We're working on something that we're gonna make a commercial.
Yeah, we're making the commercial. So I think we talked about. We're making the commercial. There's only one line of it written. It's the famous, I was just watching a great movie the other day. Let me guess. It had Michael Stuhlbarg. Ha 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 ha. That's the only part of the commercial we have written, but we're going to work on the rest of the commercial. Don't know how to make commercials, so we're going to be way smarter by this time next week, and the commercial is going to feature some information as well.
Yes, a big podcast development, so stay tuned for that. That's all you get for right now.
Yeah, I may have tipped on a Twitch. I at least tipped my hand a little bit about one of the podcast developments. We have multiple developments coming.
Things in the works.
I focus grouped a thing, the development about. We're going to ramp up the streaming a little bit. We're figuring out exactly how we're going to do it, but like we do have some stuff planned, like ready to roll out. A lot of it is this funny thing we're going to do worth what it would cost us financially, et cetera, getting through some of those. But we hope soon we're going to be able to, I mean, at least once, but we try to get on some sort of schedule of it, have a show that we put on for you. And I know that we discussed doing like a Morning Buzz themed show or something with like games and elements and things like that. This is probably going to be some combination of all that. But we had a meeting last week, talk about it. We were laughing our heads off coming up with stuff. So stay tuned.
We're going to have news and we're going to have content.
Yeah.
So I'm quite excited about it.
Right. Very exciting. Also, a quick development before we get to the movie. They're going to start opening movie theaters at 25% in New York, and I don't care about that at all. I want movie theaters to make money. I want people to be safe, and I hope that people are vaccinated and everyone's going to be safe, that people can go to movies, et cetera, et cetera. But my main concern is, and I guess this should have been something earlier because now it's kind of too late to do this, but why haven't movie theaters just kept their concession stands open?
I heard in Canada that some of like whatever Cineplex or whatever.
Yeah, someone told me that
they are doing that. Like they're Uber Eatsing or whatever.
What would you pay to have AMC chicken tenders delivered to you on a Friday morning while you watch a $20 on-demand movie for $20?
I think the best course of action, I guess if I was going to do just the chicken tenders, like $12.
Is that how much are they normally?
Probably like $8.
Okay, that's not bad. In my head, I had them at like 13.
But if they're $12 on Uber Eats or something, or like the delivery is going to be like $18. So I guess I would pay $18.
Have you ever done Uber Eats?
Yes, I did last night actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, look at this. Mm-hmm.
Got me a Popeye's spicy chicken sandwich last night.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You were the last to try it, right?
Yes. Yeah. I've eaten it quite a bit.
But I was going to say,
then.
I mean, you're a satisfied customer.
Yeah.
Back.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I think I ultimately agreed that it's like, it probably wasn't worth the hype of like waiting in line for 4 days for it, but it was a really good chicken sandwich and that's up my alley.
Yeah. Ooh, maybe I'll do a chicken sandwich at some point.
Well, if you leave here, there's a Popeyes right down the street.
Is there really?
Yes, that's why I keep going there. It's like literally right down the street.
I'm going to pull a Domino's prank on you.
Please do.
And so I
will say though,
how it's funny.
Disappointed by the Popeyes French fries, the Cajun fries. A little too soggy.
I was gonna say I imagined them like steamy and soggy, right?
Yeah, a little bit soggy. I always get a biscuit with it though. Biscuits are great.
You've been a Popeyes guy longer than I think. Popeyes has had like a GameStop kind of second wave, really on the heels of the sandwich.
Yeah,
but I mean you fucked with Popeyes and
whenever I could,
trying to get to Popeyes for years.
Whenever I could, it's not readily available up here, but whenever I cross one, I would be like, yes.
I mean, famously, I think it's closed now, but there was one across from Fenway
Just
Park.
Disgusting.
And the root cause potentially of one of the great collapses
That's
in
true.
Red Sox history. Players just kept taking themselves out of games so they could eat Popeyes in the clubhouse.
What was that? Was that Friday? It was chicken so good it'll make you slap your mama.
Oh, maybe. I haven't seen Friday in forever.
But chicken's so good that it'll make you blow like a 30-game AL East lead.
Yeah, just absolutely not care about your profession that's making you millions of dollars so you can eat fried chicken all day. Okay.
But what I was going to say is that AMC should absolutely do like a bundle on Uber Eats where like they'll give you a chicken tender, popcorn bucket, and like a medium soda for like $40. People would do it.
I mean, depending on if the movie I'm watching, if the new movie I'm watching on Friday morning, which I've been able to do that I think 2 weeks in a row now, is on Netflix or HBO Max, then yeah, I mean that's the movie's comped.
That's true.
So what am I not going to pay it forward to the movie theater?
Yeah, I haven't done that. I did wake up and watch a movie this morning with like coffee on the couch.
Feeling like P. Diddy, I bet.
Yeah, it was great. We'll talk about that here in probably like literally a second. But I really miss the theater. I really miss like the dark theater, just completely immersing myself in the theater experience with those chicken tenders, maybe a coffee that I brought. My guy Dan that I like to give hugs to whenever I walk into the theater. I miss that man.
The sweetest person in the world. What do we do to deserve our movie going setup?
We were fucking spoiled.
We love. Mm-hmm. We've got
a ticket taker that we love.
Right.
We've got orders that we love.
Yeah.
And we've got like a subscription pass that treats us very well.
Speaking of which, they are finally doing it. They're doing a Movie Pass documentary.
Fuck yeah. Hell yes. Paddington 3 was announced.
Oh yeah.
This past week, which is very exciting news for me and for the pod. But it got me to talking about Paddington 2 and recommending it to people, and it brought back Movie Pass memories because I told people, I was like, I saw Paddington 2 in theaters 6 times, and they were like, what? And I was like, well, to be fair, this is during the Movie Pass days when movies were free, and people were like, oh yeah, Movie Pass.
Didn't you also do the most legendary movie-going experience ever where you finished Paddington,
walked out, Mamma Mia 2 was playing, I walked into Mamma Mia 2, caught the boat scene right as I walked into the theater. It was the boat scene like 30 seconds later, watched the boat scene, and then just went home.
That is so cool. There's only one thing that would have made that better. Just continuing to watch the rest of Mamma Mia.
Yeah.
And then being like, oh, there's another showing of Paddington I can go to now.
I don't remember if I don't remember if I stuck around.
I remembered it as you sticking around, but either way.
I may have, but I just remember being so excited that I caught the boat scene.
That's just, I mean, that is really just showing off, getting able to do that. That's fantastic. Yeah, Mark Wahlberg's Unrealistic Ideas, the company behind HBO's Emmy-nominated McMillions, is taking another deep dive into the absurdities of greed with the story behind the rise and fall of MoviePass. That is from Deadline. I'm in. That has to be at least Firefest documentary level.
You would imagine so, yeah. Like, did you watch McMillions? I tried. It was just too ridiculous. It was too ridiculous for me. It was too like over the top.
Right.
It felt like it felt like it was almost parody.
And they kind of tell you like, yeah, it was rigged, and then like the rest of it, you're just kind of getting into shades of gray where you already learned the big thing.
Right.
But I'm looking forward to. Hopefully, it's. I already closed it, but hopefully it's a movie instead of a series.
I will consume all of the Movie Pass content.
Yeah. Okay, you watched it. This is the I Care a Lot review. It is a movie on Netflix. I don't know if its plan was to be on Netflix. I've been kind of defensive when I've been talking to people about it, where they've been like, "Oh, this is like one of my favorite Netflix movies," and I'm like, this was going to be in theaters, okay?
It was released initially in September 2020 in Canada, so I would imagine that it probably wasn't a Netflix release.
Right. So so the pandemic screwed it up. But friend of the show, Gary Tanguay, was in this movie, and all I knew about it was, I mean, he gave me like a 10-second elevator pitch of this movie years ago, and I could not have been more in. I was like, this movie sounds incredible. I like hope that they fucking keep your scene and everything, because like you're describing so much incredible stuff. Like, but I think that the quick elevator pitch he gave me was that Rosamund Pike plays a grifter who takes advantage, who like cheats the system to have wealthy, healthy old people in her care as her legal guardian, and then she just bleeds them dry financially and cuts them off to the outside world. Mm-hmm. That, holy smokes.
Yeah, I would say she's
as dark gets.
Yeah, she's a degenerate caretaker who siphons people's like wealth.
And she's got this system that works like clockwork.
Flawlessly.
And I mean, I had high hopes for this movie. I didn't know, though. I didn't know, like, is it going to be more thriller? Is it going to have some dark comedy elements to it? And, I mean, it was exactly that. I would say thriller / dark comedy.
It was, I would say the dark comedy aspect of it was kind of jarring, because I don't think that it embraced that or had enough of it that it felt like it fell into that category.
Yeah.
It had weird tonal shifts.
Yes, it would dip in and out of it, where in the first, and I'll say, I loved this movie. This was one of my favorite movies of, I mean, honestly, it was probably my favorite movie of the pandemic.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll say it. I didn't especially care for it. Okay. I thought that it was fine to pretty good, but it fell short of the hype for me.
Okay, so people on Rotten Tomatoes, like the audience score, people hated it.
Really?
Yes. And what I've seen from people who say they don't like it is that it's just so upsetting. They're like, she's so bad. And that's what I thought was great about this movie. This will be spoilers, I guess, but she targets wealthy old people. It's set in Boston, only in Boston, and Alicia Witt plays a doctor who tips her off to, hey, we've got a cherry, which is, in their terrible word, code for somebody with no family, no one who's going to come looking for this person. So it's this very rich cherry. They take her, throw her in a home, say that she's got dementia, and put her in a home, put her on a bunch of drugs, take her phone away, and that's it for the rest of her life. Which, there's a montage of all that happening, and I almost had like a panic attack watching it, because it's so horrible. Upsetting.
Yeah, it's very horrible.
So horrible. And it's a montage, just like, this is how it's done. And the fashion in this is so good. She's looking great. And
I saw somebody say it, but like, this movie has a big Simple Favor energy to it.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean, just from the fact of like, it's dark and you can't take your eyes off the clothing. Mm-hmm. But she's living this charmed, incredible life while just doing these unbelievably heartless things. Like, there's a montage where they're putting the woman in the home. She's trying to like ask questions, trying to do whatever. And as they're doing that, she's selling the house. She's going into a security deposit box, finding gold, diamonds, all of these things, and just like that, just selling it. It's hers now. This person has now lost everything. But turns out this person has ties to organized crime, mm-hmm. and very important people are keeping very close tabs on this person, and she is 1,000% off limits to this grift of hers. So it's a showdown, violent scary, intimidating showdown between Rosamund Pike and this gangster who's played by Peter Dinklage. And I think I didn't know that Peter Dinklage was in this movie. And
I knew that he was, but I had forgotten before I started watching.
I'm glad I didn't tell you that.
And I was like, at the beginning, I was kind of like, all right, where is this going to head? Is this a showdown between the old woman and Rosamund Pike? And then Peter Dinklage gets introduced, and I'm like, right, I forgot. Yes,
that I thought was. I mean, I really liked the cast in this movie.
Speaking of which, I looked up I Care a Lot cast on Google. Where do you think Gary Tanguay is listed in the order?
I looked 7th, right?
7th.
That's
8th. Still incredible.
I mean, not to spoil it, he has a huge
pretty big role.
Scene.
Yeah.
He has
not a big role, but a big scene. Yes.
I mean, very, very important scene.
Yeah.
At any rate, the showdown between Pike and Dinklage, I think, is awesome, and I thought that it was great casting because I think that those two are at the top of, if not very close to the top of the list of, like, if you need someone who you don't want to fuck with, I mean, Rosamund Pike might be number one after this.
And Gone Girl.
After this and Gone Girl, I think she is solidified.
She's terrifying.
The most intimidating actor in Hollywood.
She
right?
is quite scary.
And I haven't seen enough of her other stuff to know, like, do I just only happen to see her in these really fucking, like, don't fuck with me roles, or is that all she does? I bet that she's more well-rounded than that. But even so, like, if that's all that actor can do, that's a fucking awesome actor. I mean, she should get nominated for Best Actress.
I think she was great in this movie. And I think Peter Dinklage was really solid as well.
Yeah.
More of my issues, like, are around the writing and sort of, like, where it goes.
So, I mean...
It's a bit far-fetched, and, like, there are...
I mean, I hope it's far-fetched.
Well, like, it is in like, a lot of... In some of the things that they get away with, and just... some of what it culminates in, and how we're led to believe that Peter Dinklage is, like, this ruthless sort of gangster who is, like, very calculated, and just somehow... We've seen it a million times in some sloppy movies where it's like, well, how could you allow that to happen?
What? So, like, what do they let happen?
I would say, I mean, I don't want to... How deep into spoilers we're going to get, I guess.
You can do a quick little spoil.
I mean, the fact that they allowed both of them to live at the end. Did
they both let each other live?
No. The Rosamund Pike's character and her girlfriend, or her partner.
Oh, yeah, you're saying that they would have killed both of them?
Yes.
I mean, mainly, like, their failed attempt at killing her? Yeah. I mean, that I didn't totally get. How she was alive when she was in the car. Led to the weird milk storyline thing.
Just the most
Learned about that.
The most as a person has ever cared about one tooth in, like, the middle of a personal life crisis where they were almost murdered.
Yeah, she's almost murdered. She loses a tooth, and she goes and gets a gallon of milk, puts her tooth in the milk, and then is
allegedly
able to...
preserves the tooth, but Ellen said that doesn't work. Ellen said that as soon as she picked up the gallon, the milk, she's like, oh, she's going to do that for the tooth, and that doesn't work.
Really?
Yeah.
How does Ellen know that
I don't know.
Interesting. I mean, I'm sure that there are definitely things of, like, hey, that wouldn't happen in real life, and hopefully none of this would happen in real life because she's just so horrible. But I loved. I don't know. I think I've just found, like, this is my kind of movie. Like, give me thrilling qualities. Give me some dark comedy. The music of ABBA, if you have it. And that's just my kind of movie. Like, I love this movie in the way that I love Cold Pursuit. But this is, like, what if Cold Pursuit was, like, a real good movie?
Yeah, right. Yeah,
know?
This was a way better movie than Cold Pursuit. And like again, I didn't hate it, and I didn't think that it was completely stupid. I think that it fell victim probably to the hype because you were bugging the hell out of me to watch it. I saw that Feidelberg loved it. I trust his takes a lot of the time. It was the #1 movie on Netflix.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, I thought that it was good. It wasn't like amazing for me.
I think credit is due. I thought there was a very great performance from someone I don't think I would ever talk about as saying, hey, this person was great in this movie. You know who I'm talking about? Chris Messina. Chris Messina is
he the lawyer?
Yeah.
He was really good.
He has a scene where he goes, the scene in her office.
That was an awesome scene.
I was watching. I was like, coffee was just kind of kicking in. I was like, what am I seeing here?
So,
this is incredible, Chris Messina.
What I would say about this movie is that it is a great showdown movie. Like, it is a great showdown movie because Rosamund Pike, as you mentioned, fantastic showdown actress.
Yeah.
You got Peter Dinklage, really good showdown actor, but Chris Messina is also really good in a showdown role in this movie. And, like, unfortunately, he only really had one of those opportunities, but he was really good in that one scene.
I think that Peter Dinklage, depending on the category, I just have no idea this year. And it's a category that even if he's nominated, he's lost because Daniel Kaluuya is going to win. Mm-hmm. But I think that Peter Dinklage could easily be nominated for Best Supporting Actor. Diane Wiest, who I think was like the OG Octavia Spencer, where like put her in a supporting role, that movie's gonna friggin' sing. I don't know if she was in it enough. She plays the Mark, and
she also had some showdown scenes.
She has a showdown scene while on drugs, and watching somebody play a character on drugs is always rough because, I don't know, like it's sort of like bubblegum versus bubblegum flavor. Like, there's how people in TV play in media or whatever, play a person on drugs versus what a person on drugs might actually look like. I feel like there's always like the same kind of like, they're drowsy and they're saying goofy things or whatever. And rarely, I think, is there someone gives a really good performance while playing somebody on drugs. She has a showdown. You're right. There's just so many showdowns in this movie. She has a showdown in the home with Marla, Rosamund Pike's character, that I was like, oh my God. I didn't even know who this person was. I had to look her up after, and I was like, oh, she's won multiple Academy Awards.
I said that she looked like the female Anthony Hopkins.
I mean, not bad. Yeah, I actually see. Yeah,
they have like a very round face.
Yeah.
I thought for a second that it was like Judi Dench. But yeah, she was good. I also thought that the guy, for some reason, he's got like a very. I love when I see him on screen, and it's the guy who runs the nursing home.
The guy that plays Sam.
Damian Young. He's been in a lot of different things, and whenever I see him, I'm like, I just like this guy's feel.
Yeah, he's kind of bootleg. He's almost like bootleg Richard Jenkins-ish. Younger.
Sort of, yeah.
But, I mean, that's his name. Young. We didn't even talk about Isaiah Whitlock.
No, it was a very tough experience for me watching this movie with Isaiah Whitlock.
Because he's such a pushover? Or
yes, because he's so dumb in this movie.
I wondered, like, we don't know for sure. Is he in on it?
He could be. Might be. I don't think so, though. What we have learned, though, is that judges.
That's right.
Judges can be bought.
Right, especially in Isaiah Whitlock vehicles.
Right.
I mean, I thought the movie was really smart, though, with what it did with perception, though, and like how like just judging a book by its cover. You got a court scene where there's a guy screaming like, this B word is taking. My mom is in there. I haven't been able to talk to my mom in forever. She took my mom, and now I can't talk to her on the phone. I can't go see her. I can't do whatever. And here's this, and like the guy's disheveled. He's obviously later certainly comes off as like just very chauvinistic.
By the way, I like that guy a lot.
That actor?
Yes, he's in a lot of the. He was in Green Room and Blue Ruin. So he. Have you ever seen Green Room?
Seems like a very colorful.
Yes, by the same director.
He works with.
By the same director.
Green Room, Blue Room,
Blue Ruin,
Blue Ruin. The Blue Ruins. It's a horror movie, supernatural horror film. But anyway, so like this guy's explaining exactly what she's doing, and then you've got this caretaker who legal guardian doing all this, like very polished person, like beautiful, well put together, and you're like, well, obviously I'm believing this person.
Yeah.
And then when Chris Messina's in there, and he comes off as kind of like the snaky type lawyer, and she's just in there representing herself, being like, well, I can't release this woman to this man. I need to, like, she's in my care. I need to make sure that I'm doing what's good for her. Like, I'm believing this woman 10 times out of 10
right.
too.
This guy can't even prove that he's her lawyer.
And she is running an absolute racket. She's the most evil person there, but I mean, people will just judge the book by its cover.
It does make you wonder, though, like how many times has S.A. Whitlock's character seen these same things presented in court?
That was my... I don't know if this is believable, because I would hope that... but again, he could be in on it, but I would hope that at some point he's like,
if there's enough smoke, maybe there's fire.
Is brought to court,
and he says at the very beginning too, like she is very trusted and like very well respected in the guardian space. It's like, is she like?
Yeah.
How there's got to be a ton of complaints.
I also like how the movie does toy with, like, on the subject of perception, the like, kind of using gender. I mean, she uses everything for evil, but she definitely, like, whenever anybody's like, hey, what you're doing is terrible, you're kidnapping this like, fuck you, what are you doing? She's like, look at this man,
of a woman
trying to take me down. And when you first see it, you're like, yeah, why is that? Yeah, fuck that guy. And I mean, the guy, I feel like the movie complicates it by, he's also, like, he's calling her a B word and everything. Yeah. So it's very easy to see that and be like, well, this guy just hates her because he's a woman. And then you like slap yourself and you're like, oh no,
she's just a bad person.
Yeah, right. Yeah. He hates her because the kidnapping.
And that happens at like a few points in the movie, and it felt weird because she, like, at one of the points she was saying it to her partner, who is like also a woman, and it's like she's in on this.
Right.
Like,
so
how are you trying to what? Why are you using this? Like, I understand.
She believe this,
right? Like, I would understand if you were using that as like a way to manipulate somebody.
Yeah.
But like, you don't need to manipulate this person. She's in on the gig.
Right. So that also confused me, because I mean, obviously, like, when she says men are probably intimidated by seeing a strong woman who's running the company doing all these things, like, that is factually correct, and she uses that to her advantage. But you're right. Like, when they come threatening her and they're saying like, hey, this person's connected, you got to let her go. She says to her partner, like, please, men always come in here and try to threaten me. Like, isn't the partner like, but like, I know about I know why they're mad. Like,
and it's like, she also like, how many men have come in here threatening me? Like, thousands. And how many times it's actually come to something? Twice. And it's like, okay, well, it's come to something twice, and you just had somebody who just like, we will literally kill you. Like,
great. I mean, just great work from Chris Messina. He says the people she has friends who are very powerful and can make things uncomfortable for you,
or not.
She says, how uncomfortable are we talking? He's, well, very uncomfortable, until it gets so uncomfortable that you're not comfortable or uncomfortable ever again.
Just incredible lawyer speak.
Yeah.
To be like, I'm not going to incriminate myself
because I'll be dead. And he's like,
I didn't say that.
What are you talking about? That
was a very, very good scene. That might have been like the scene of the movie.
I mean, I will accept that. But big fan of this movie. It was. Let me see, what else do I have written. I mean, Pike's clothes. That's like my first note. A+++++++. The monochromatic suits with a white t-shirt underneath. Just like very fun, stylish, attractive, the whole nine.
Chris Messina's suit when he goes to court.
So I wrote that down as like
quite the choice.
There were a few.
If you are not trying to look like a mob boss's lawyer, you're doing a very bad job.
Right.
Okay, tone it down, Saul Goodman.
Right. So I wrote that down. I wrote the pinstriped 3-piece suit on Chris Messina was a bit much. What was I going to say? Shoot.
The hair. Great hair movie for Rosamund Pike.
Impeccable. I mean, Dinklage's hair and his beard. I thought like Dinklage's whole look worked. Shoot. I had one big note that I wanted to bring up, and I absolutely forget what it was. Let's see. We were talking about Rosamund Pike. Her wardrobe. Clothes really good. I don't know. Guess we'll never know. What'd you think of the eclairs?
The eclairs, I was upset that they were thrown on the ground.
That's true. Waste of food. I remember what my thing was. There were points in the movie, and the pinstriped suit was one of them, where I thought, uh-oh, does this movie know what it's doing? And by the end of it, by the end of the movie, when you got a few of them, I would even say halfway through the movie, I think you just realize, like, no, that there's just a lot more I keep saying dark comedy, but like there's just a lot more dark comedy and cold pursuit to this than I initially thought. In the very beginning, right after she gets out of court with the guy whose mother she's taken from him, he comes out and he calls her B-word, spits in her face, says like, I hope you, and just the worst things you could say to somebody. And she says to him, is this because I'm a woman that like this hurts so much because a woman beat you in something? And she says, let's get one thing straight. You ever talk to me that way again or spit on me, whatever she says, I will
grab your dick and balls so hard and I will rip them clean off.
Right. So that's like 4 minutes into the movie. And I was like, uh-oh. Like, is this what the dialogue is? But then there was, between the Alexei character, I mean, the Alexei character did a very good job of hammering home, this is going to be silly and ridiculous at points.
The nursing home scene was preposterous. I think that was a real turning point for me, where I was like, oh, so like I'm not going to love this movie.
Oh, see, for me, I was like, this is wacky fun.
Yeah, but it's like I think the biggest problem for me was the tonal shifts.
Yeah,
because it takes itself quite seriously at a whole lot of points, and then at other points it's like, just kidding.
Right,
we're having a good time.
It could have been a nail biter if it just, with changing a few lines, get rid of the dick and balls part, get rid of. I mean, just have the breakout attempt.
I would have liked to see it commit a little.
Straight.
I would have liked to see it commit one way or another.
Yeah, I think though that a lot of the silly stuff is with
it's somewhat inconsequential. I was going to say
the organized crime, but then I realized it's also this movie does draw a very strong men and women line. So, for the most part, all of the white collar crime, all the white collar criminals are women, and all of like the organized crime are men. And I feel like the scenes
they do make this guys seem sort of like bumbling idiots,
right? And the scenes with the men have more of that kind of humor, where there's a lot of physical humor with the men, where Dinklage
throwing
is
shit,
throwing smoothies.
Alexei is dressing up.
Alexei. But yeah, a lot of the movie does ride on Alexei. So I saw it as he's what keeps the movie silly, but I agree with your view of it, of that he's what makes what could have been a non-silly movie kind of ridiculous.
Right. And we're like, if it were, I guess, like, if it weren't so tied to the main storyline where, like, this guy is a mob boss who is extremely scary, it's sort of hard to buy that when, like, everything around him is so silly all the time.
Yes, everybody around him does everything wrong at all times. I loved it, though. I mean, if we haven't spoiled it too badly, I hope everyone has checked it out. You're right. I've been pushing this movie on people, and I'm glad people saw it. No one's really told me. I think Feidelberg actually is more with you on it.
Really?
He didn't dislike it, but he didn't love it. He also, I think, was the nursing home scene, I think, made an impression on him. But
negatively or positively?
I think negatively. Okay. But, I mean...
I don't understand how anybody could see the nursing home thing and be like, loved that.
Dude, like,
you're so stupid.
You're talking to a Cold Pursuit stan. I just think that's
I love
Cold Pursuit. Kind of movie.
I loved Cold Pursuit, though, because it committed to the silliness.
Every minute of it.
Yeah.
Like, they do, like, 3 serious minutes. They give him an award. Which even that's not serious. Don't they give him an award that's like Citizen of the Year?
Yes. Yeah. And they immediately fly through that in like 30 seconds. And they're like, okay, time to have some fun. Yeah. Here we go.
What a movie. I'm about to go watch that. I've seen that movie a bunch of times. Okay. We did mention it was set in Boston. Only in Boston, right?
That's right.
They didn't really do much Boston with it, though. They made up places.
Yeah, they made up... Well, they had Medfield. They had a Medfield town
Medfield
sign.
Medfield was the only place that they...
really referenced.
That they said, okay, this is... I thought...
They had the Zaken Bridge.
They showed the Zaken Bridge. But, like, they made up the county, which... Where do you think that was, where the woman lived? It seemed like Brookline, maybe? Chestnut Hill or something?
Yeah, they said it was a rich area.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Could be more Western Mass, too.
Ooh. Maybe. I don't know. That'd be a hike to get to those. I don't know. Yeah, maybe the court is in Western Mass. I always enjoy Alicia Witt. I was glad. I
didn't know who she was, but very, very attractive.
Oh yeah, beautiful,
gorgeous.
Yeah, she. She was the neighbor in Friday Night Lights.
Oh, the Tim Riggins neighbor?
Yes, Tim Riggins' neighbor. She was in. I believe she was in The Walking Dead. Yep, she was in The Walking Dead.
Oh, she's from Worcester. Oh, hello.
Yeah. And she's I know her from Nashville. She's in a bunch of stuff. Let me see. She's like one of my favorite. Not everybody knows her by name, but I'm always happy to see her in stuff. Actors. I feel like Alicia Witt could be a brunch guest.
I would love to have her. She'd be great.
Yeah. Let's we'll get that on the books. Let's quickly do a draft or an improv or just a disorganized thing of actors you don't want to fuck with, or even we could say showdown actors, because this movie had 2 of the best, I think, in Pike and Dinklage. Who else would you put on that list?
Sarah Paulson.
Sarah
Paulson is terrifying.
I know who she... Oh, yeah. She was in... Is she in the Oceans movies?
I don't think so. I know her from, like...
Ocean's 8, yeah.
Oh, is she? Okay.
That's the only one I've seen.
Okay, yeah, she's in, like, American Horror Story. She's in, like, Deadwood. She is quite a scary person.
She's in Bird Box?
Sure. Yeah, she might be what's her name's sister? Sandra Bullock's sister?
Yeah. It's Jessica Hayes. Sandra Bullock plays Mallory Hayes.
Okay.
Trevante Rhodes plays Tom. Jackie Weaver plays Cheryl. John Malkovich plays Douglas. Rosa Salazar plays Lucy.
Back in his day, John Malkovich was a great showdown actor.
Oh yeah, John Malkovich is a great one. Yeah. Did you see the post Cedric Maxwell posted maybe a week ago or something? He was like, I miss just being at games with a bunch of people there and like fans in the stands at the Garden. Like there's nothing like a Celtics game. Here's a picture of me and John Malkovich. This dude's one of my favorite actors. And it's just like them at a basketball game. And
Hell yeah.
Fuck. I was like, at first I was like, I miss that too. And I was like, I don't see John Malkovich.
I love going to NBA games with
John
A-listers.
Malkovich. Yeah. John Malkovich is also someone that we wanted to find a way to weave in.
Just thought of another one.
Yeah?
Christoph Waltz. Unbelievable showdown actor.
Christoph Waltz, great one. I said, I mean, there are some kind of obvious ones, like
Leo.
De Niro.
Yeah.
Like Robert De Niro's a good one. Joe Pesci might be one, but Joe Pesci is more like a
wild card rather than a showdown.
Right, yes.
He is the wild card to De Niro's showdown.
Perfect. How about Michael Shannon?
Michael Shannon, yes.
Just based really solely on Fish Love.
Could throw Cranston in there as well.
Yeah, Cranston's pretty good.
Stuhlbarg
on there for sure. While we're doing HBO
Michael K. Williams.
Yep. Yeah, I had him on the list. How about, you know who Frank Vincent is?
Frank Vincent. That sounds very familiar.
It's two first names. You know both of those.
Sure do. Yeah, so I know him, yeah.
He Phil Leotardo in Sopranos.
Mm-hmm.
That guy was just born for showdowns.
That is true. But he's I don't know, like he is, but he always like I feel like he always dominates the showdown.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because you're just like,
it's not like fun. It's not a fun showdown. You're just like, oh, this guy's just gonna own this showdown.
That's true. So like, if Frank Vincent, the late Frank Vincent, and I, also from Massachusetts, sat down and I was like, okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna come up with a plan, and we're each gonna sacrifice, and we're gonna compromise. And he'd cut me off.
That's cute.
He'd be like, you tell that son of a bitch. I'd be like, tell who? And like he would go off.
Like if Frank Vincent was like the headliner on a pay-per-view, I wouldn't watch it because I'd be like, I'm not going to waste $60 to watch Frank Vincent destroy somebody in 30 seconds.
Right. Okay. So Frank Vincent, from some light Googling, it says born April 15th, 1937, North Adams, died September 13th, 2017, rest in peace. Spouse, Kathleen. Books, A Guy's Guide to Being a Man's Man.
Wow. Should we read that book?
I kind of want to, but I'm afraid that what if
it's impressionable?
Right. Yeah. What if subconsciously we're like, someone told me the other day to do this, and it was just, no, you're reading the Book of Terrible Advice. Look at the cover. It's Frank Vincent smoking a stogie and telling you from one guy to another how to be a man's man. Let's see what these days, it says, it's harder than ever to know how to act like a real man.
Oh, God.
I'm going to interrupt and say, nothing could go more strongly against everything I've ever been. We're not talking about the touchy-feely, ultra-sensitive, emotion-sharing, not afraid to cry version of manhood that Oprah and Dr. Phil have been spouting for years. Oh no, this was published in 2006. We're talking about the though smart, he meant tough.
Okay.
We're talking about the though smart, confident, charming, classy, all-around good fella that upholds the true ideal of what is known as a man's man.
I feel like there's got to be like a chapter in this book about like how to keep your woman in the kitchen or something.
Oh my God.
This seems like the most problematic book of all time.
Yeah. Forward by James Gandolfini. He signed off. Yo. I mean,
I thought you were going to say like forward by James Woods, and I was going to be like, oh, canceled.
Makes as much sense. So he would, even to, I mean, if we read this to mock it, are we
That's
speaking ill of the dead?
mean-spirited. He's not alive to defend himself.
And, right, he's not allowed to defend himself.
And it's like a product 2006.
I was going to say, this came out in 2006. I feel like right now, if you were to read all this back to him, he'd be like, I don't like a lot about that, and I wouldn't hit publish on that right now. And be like, cool.
We'll just pretend that doesn't exist.
Yeah, just be like, okay, we're just going to do one quick podcast about it. I'm sure that can't.
There's a billion of those things that exist.
Hear this, like look, you want to get all touchy feely like Oprah and Dr. Phil. You could have told me someone said that like 3 years ago, and I'd be like, ugh, But I'd believe it. People, anyway. So we're done podcasting today.